Well, good morning. So 6:30 and we are back at the reservoir for a return visit. Me, Matt, and as usual, just like last time, we're waiting on Jake. But we've got down here early doors. There's just one other guy fishing, which is a bailiff. But we've just come down and we've seen probably half a dozen shows already. I've still got a rod made up from my Thursday night session. And just checked the pop-up in the margin and it's still good to go, so I've just whammed that out onto the sort of area that the line that the fish have been showing on, just to see if we can nick an early fish whilst we're waiting for Jake to arrive. So yeah, that one is literally just led upside down at the moment on the ground, spool nice and loose, because with it being a reservoir, apart from sort of like just the odd buoy dotted around, stuff like that, there is really nothing else for them to go into. So like I say, spool set nice and loose. Hopefully that spool starts spinning before Jake arrives, but once Jake does arrive, we're just going to formulate a plan of attack, what we're going to do for the rest of the day really. We've travelled relatively light, we've got both our gear on Matt's barrow, so yeah, we're happy to move if fish start showing at one end or the other. But for now, yep, just going to wait for this, hopefully for this spool to start spinning and for Jake to arrive so we can sort out what we're going to do for the day. So for now, we'll leave it there. I'll catch up with you in a little while. Right, so Jake's finally arrived, and yeah, it's just probably 7 o'clock now. But we've seen a few shows, like I mentioned earlier. The two rods that we found just popped out with the rigs already on them from Thursday. Nothing happened with them, so we've had them in. We've made our decision where we're all going to drop into, and I find myself down next to a pontoon. Now just behind it, it's like an out of bounds area, bit of a safe area, can't fish it, and we've seen two shows make that 3 shows in there literally. I don't know if you can see them rings, don't know if you can make that out on camera, but that's the 3rd show behind that pontoon, and I've got a solid bag just to run down the edge of it. If anything's in there and it's going to make its way out, then I'm hoping that it's going to come across this solid bag. There's a little pink fake food in there, full of pellet, going to give that a squirt of oil, and yeah, hope that something comes across it on their way in or out of this pontoon. So without further ado, let's get this juiced up, get it out there and keep everything crossed. In the meantime, I'm going to prep some rigs from the other 2 rods that I've just left up a little bit further up in the bank, so I'm just going to sit on this for an hour or 2 and just see if anything occurs. But for now, let's get this sorted and see if we can nick us out. Right, so as you would have just seen, just quickly wrap the spom up. I'm going to go 16 wraps on one rod, which is kind of where we see them in the vicinity of this morning, and one slightly shorter at 8 wraps, catapult distance, where I had that fish from last time that we was down here, shorter range. So I'm going to have one sort of in the middle, one shorter, and then the solid bag. I'll get that done again and decide what I'm going to do with that later, once I've got a bit of bait out and stuff like that. So bait that I've opted for this session, triple N in there. That's got some hot chili oil, some of the krill stick mix liquid in there, and some of the ADF fish meal method mix. Now that's all been soaking for a good couple of days now, and it absolutely reeks. So what I'm going to do, because obviously it's quite featureless apart from that pontoon up that end, what I'm going to do is probably put 10 spoms out over over the long rod where we see him showing this morning, probably 10 spoms out there, and I'll just probably catty, I don't know, 30-40 baits out over the shorter rod like I did last session, and just try and work something from there really. So yeah, without further ado, let's get some of this bait out over that longer spot, and hopefully all that smell and stinkiness and everything like that will just draw fish into the area, and yeah, there'll be a nice little feast for them. Right, so as you can see, just over my shoulder, first rod's gone out. That was a 16 wrap spot. Just want to talk you through really what the setup is for the day. A bit like last session, nothing's really changed. Rig tubing down to a lead clip setup, and then basically like what, 3.5 ounce lead. More than enough to get me out to the 16 wraps that I need. There's only a slight breeze from right to left, so yeah, don't need anything majorly heavy to get the distances that I'm fishing. Rig wise, going with a slip D rig. I'm pretty sure that's what I had the fish on last time I was down here as well, so about 6 inches, 7 inches in length. This time I'm going to use a triple M wafter. Now these have been soaking, had a little bit of hemp oil in the pot, and these have been soaking for months and months, so nothing really too much to affect the buoyancy, but yeah, slip D style, mounted to a little ring swivel there, obviously giving it the slip on the shank of the hook. Tiny little bit of putty to keep it down. Coating at the hook end, it's been stripped back to allow for maximum movement on the hook bait. Like I say, 6-7 inches in length. Little loop at the end, and a little anti-tangle sleeve there, just to slip over the quick change swivel on the lead clip end. That allow me just to swap rigs over. Got plenty of rigs tied, plenty of little PVA stringers tied. I'm just going to hook one of them on as so. So 3 little baits and a little PVA mesh stringer, hooking that on there, clipping the rig on, dipping it into the oil, or giving it a bit of the PVA, a squirt of the PVA stick mix liquid, whichever takes my fancy, sticking it out there. So this is going to be the shorter rod, the 8 wrap rod. So let's get it out, and then we can think about what we're going to do with this solid bag. Remaining rod, and as I mentioned earlier, it's going to be a solid bag. Just going to allow me to use it as like a roving rod really. As I mentioned, if I see anything I can just whip it in, stick another bag together, and yeah, bang it straight out to whatever I see really. So for the time being I am going to stick at that sort of that end where I lowered it down earlier. I'm just going to like I say, give this one a squirt. What I am going to do is just work my way through the colours of these dumbbell wafters. So you've got pink, white, yellow and orange in there, and I'm just going to keep mixing it up maybe every couple of hours. Beauty of using obviously solid bags, you're not leaving loads of traces of bait behind, just leaving a mouthful of parcel of little pellets. And to be quite honest, you know, they're so small, they have a great breakdown rate, obviously releasing loads of oils and attraction into your little area wherever you lower it down into. So I think, like I say, I'm going to stick down that end with this one. Just going to walk down the bank a little bit and just sort of underarm it in, and yeah, sit on that for a little while until we see anything else happen really. Like I said, the other 2 rods have gone out, they have got bait on it, so it's just a waiting game now really. Like I say, the place is quite featureless, so as you can see, it is quite bland. It's just a like I say, it's just a reservoir, concrete bottom, little bit of scum on the bottom, but you're getting obviously a drop every time you're casting out, so that isn't an issue presentation wise. It's just whether the fish get over your baited area and fancy having a munch. So I'm going to get this one oiled up, get it down into the area, and then yeah, sit back and have a brew, because feels like it's been a bit of a manic morning so far. So I'll leave it there for now, and I'll catch up with you in a little while. Right, so mega quick update. Rods have probably been out, what, half hour, 45 minutes, not even that, and we're on the move already. Right down there on the end of the wind line, we're just seeing fish after fish boshing out. And you know what, we're not here to just sit there, have a social and just see what happens. We're here to catch some fish. There's some mega scaly fish in here, we want one each, so we're going right down in the face of that wind. It's not cold by any means, it's a nice southwesterly, so yep, the rods are coming in, we're getting everything loaded onto the barrow, and we're getting ourselves off down there. It's, like I say, it's too much of a big opportunity to miss. We'll be on fish, so there's a much better chance that we'll actually be able to make something happen. So time to get this lot in, get ourselves off down to the end. So we're down on the end of the wind, and all our rods are out. We've just fanned them out. I've taken sort of corner. Matt and Jake, we've just kind of, like I say, spread ourselves out about 50 meters apart and just fanned the rods out, different lengths, different color hook baits, different tactics, just to try and figure out what these showing fish want and what they're going to obviously take. So we're just going to sit back, get everything sorted now. I don't think we're probably going to move from here unless they start showing elsewhere again, and we'll just pack up and get back on them. So yeah, for now we're just going to kick back, chill out, see what happens over the course of the next couple of hours, and fingers crossed we'll be able to nab one. So I don't know if you can hear me or not, but this wind is absolutely hacking in down here, and old Spawny Balls is in. That was literally what, probably 10-15 minutes, wasn't it, mate? Not very long at all. And yeah, if you look it down here, it's foaming up and it is absolutely howling in. So I don't know if you can actually hear me or not, but Matt is in. What a result. Well worth the move. Unfortunately, I am just further down the bank, but yeah, of all the reservoirs people have got to fish, they've decided to drop in pretty much right onto me in the narrowest part of the res, which is not ideal, but this is a right result. Right, so the move's paid off. Matt has landed one, 19 pound, a few ounces, an absolute immaculate bar of gold. Literally probably took what, 10-15 minutes tops. Yeah. See him show down here earlier. We've done the off, and yeah, it's been rewarded with a nice 19 pound common. So absolutely happy days. Matt can still see fish showing just behind us, so we're going to slip him back, get the rod back out, and yeah, see if we can nick ourselves a few more. But it feels a load better down here than it did where we were before, so happy that that move's paid off with this fish. apologies for the wind if it is hard to hear me. This wind is still hacking in, but as you can see, rods, just a backpack and the spank sticks. I'm on the move again. Fishing from that end, nothing's happened, to be quite honest. Never really felt close to the fish, and I've been seeing repeat shows. Where are we? Just off this white buoy, an orange buoy here. Basically, I've been seeing repeat shows, and it's too much to ignore now. It's got to the point where, you know, they're not coming any closer, so I'm going to go to the fish and see if I can basically stick 3 singles out amongst them, amongst that line, and see if I can nick one for myself. Like I say, there were a few people who dropped in down on this corner, and there's also, I don't know, 2 or 3 people that have come down spinning as well. So that just made my mind up, basically. Had to move, had to do something about it, and yeah, I've come down and like I say, just brought 3 rods, 3 singles, my backpack just so I've got my bits and pieces, and yeah, I'm just going to sling them singles out on the line of that buoy and see if I can nick myself a fish. Now, it does look like I might get wet for my efforts. It does look a little bit grey over there and stuff like that, so I might get wet for my efforts, but you know what, who cares? If it means I'm closer to the fish and I give myself a better chance of trying to bag one, then so be it. So let's get these rods sorted, get them out amongst that area, and see if I can nick myself a fish. So it's all 3 rods out, all gone out on little short hinge stiff rigs, and all of them have got a pop-up on, a super fruit pop-up, high vis, white, 1 pink, 1 yellow, and they've all been fanned out around the same area where we've seen all them shows. So now it's all down to the carp. The rigs are out in the area, bright hook baits down there, so they're blatantly going to see them. Not going to put any free offerings out there because there's been enough shows there to warrant just putting 3 rods out in knowing that obviously there's 3 single hook baits. So just going to have to sit back now for the next couple of hours, see what materialises. But yeah, let's hope they find one of these high vis hook baits, and I get rewarded for my efforts. Buzzing, so the move is paid off. £20 5-ounce scaly mirror, exactly what we come for. I am over the moon, I'm so buzzing. See a fish so long, quickly whipped in one of the rods, bammed it out there as hard as I could, and this is a reward. 15 minutes later, buzzing, buzzing, buzzing like you would not believe. Worked so hard today. You know, we've moved like twice, 3 times. I only decided to come over here just to sort of, you know, mix things up, and after seeing a few fish so long, I just had to make the move. So look at this one, absolute perler. Just quickly spin it round because I'm having camera problems, typically at the wrong time. So I'm just going to quickly spin it round, show you the other side. But oh, I am so made up. So I'm absolutely buzzing. I cannot believe I managed to get that fish. Oh, it's like opportunist, just launch one as far as I could to not this buoy, one a bit further out if you can see it. See a fish so long range, and I'll just whip the rod in. What a right super foot pop up on the hinge steer, whammed it out there as hard as I could, and yeah, lo and behold, 10-15 minutes later, I was rattled off. It tried doing me just around one of these buoys, wherever it is, can't even see it on the camera. Done it on, well, tried to do me on that buoy there. It's tried to do me on the one close in. I've literally been like running up and down this sort of edging of the reservoir, steering it away from all these buoys, just to like I say, make sure it doesn't go around. So obviously you've got chains going down to the bottom, so you know, snagging me up and stuff like that, that'll be a write-off, that fish will be gone. So yeah, up and down this bank, and as soon as I see it rolling the edge and I see it was a mirror, I just was hoping and praying that it was going to be coming in and getting in that net. So yeah, 20 pound, 5 ounces, and yeah, I could not be happier. What a way to finish off a bit of a ball breaker of a day, really, chasing showing fish around the place. And yeah, that's kind of the rewards, really, just to whack one out onto a showing fish, and yeah, 10-15 minutes later, it's rattled off. The boys have come round and joined me on this side. Unfortunately, nothing else has materialised down on that far bank, apart from a few more breams to add to the tally. So that's coming up to the end of the session, really. We're going to do a slow pack down. The sun is just slowly starting to make its way down behind the trees there, but yeah, we've had a quality day. Couple of carp on the bank. Unfortunately, Jake didn't manage to get one, but I'm sure we'll be back down for another visit, that's for certain. But yeah, as always, thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe, stick a comments in below, come and say hello over on Facebook, live streams, all that jazz. But for now, we're going to get everything sorted. I'm starving, I'm knackered, and to be honest, I'm ready for bed. But as always, thanks for watching, guys, and I will catch up with you soon.